Hi guys, Bill Keane here, the Executive Director of BNI here in Central Alabama and Southwest Georgia. And I wanted to give you a video to help you explain to folks how the filling chapters to make more money sheet actually works. So here it is, and you can see that this sheet is divided into 6 verticals and 3 horizontal. The verticals and horizontals have a different purpose, which I'm going to run through right now. Let's start with those verticals. Each of these columns represents a different, what in BNI we call power team or a contact sphere. And so you can see on my example on the left, using the real estate column, you'll see that in there all categories to do with real estate: buying, selling, supporting, working with real estate services, for example. There's another one for home services, business services, etc., etc. These columns could really be anything. This is just an example. There was a time when I had a pet power team in one of my chapters. We had a veterinarian, pet food store, a cat sitter, and a dog walker. They would all be in the same contact sphere. So that is a quick explanation of all those different verticals, but the horizontals are far more interesting. So this top horizontal, the one marked orange, has an orange border. These are categories that are very frequently found in BNI chapters. In fact, in larger chapters, you'll probably find all of these. Why is that the case? Because each of these categories, they lend themselves to referrals and they connect with a lot of other different categories. So these are the prime categories that we're going to be looking for. The next box down, the blue box, these are categories that are often found in BNI. Less frequent, they'll be in several chapters, but not as common as the first box. This is your next tier of categories. And finally, that black box down the bottom, this is, I think, the most interesting box. So this represents categories that existed somewhere in BNI in Alabama when this list was done. And there's some incredibly interesting categories here. We've got, there's a baker, there's alternative medicine, acupuncture, water purification, boats and watercraft. These are very unique categories. But what this means is that somebody in one of these unique categories went to visit a BNI chapter and they saw some value in BNI for their business, and they went ahead and joined. So the lesson here, of course, is don't prejudge any categories. It's never about what you do. It's almost always who you are. So very interesting. So let's take a look. Let's take an example of a CPA. If you're a CPA and you're looking to invite people to your chapter or your startup group, there's 2 things you're going to want to focus on. The first thing is you always start with the top box. As we've already identified, these are categories that will respond well to a referral structure. They love referrals, and they're typically found commonly in BNI chapters. So if you're in a startup group, this is where you start. Cherry picking, the low-hanging fruit, as they say. But as a CPA, you're also in business services. Yes, you might be in personal services too. You can be in more than one. And so you're also going to want to focus on that contact sphere, the different categories that can directly pass you business and you can pass business to them. So the CPA, they're going to be looking for business attorneys, maybe business insurance, bankers, credit card processing, a lot of different companies there. This is a useful tool. I would sit down with your folks, go through this, explain how it works. The goal here is to trigger different categories and different people that they can go ahead and invite. This sheet is used well in conjunction with a prospect list. We have a BNI prospect list, but a simple piece of paper will suffice, where they can start making lists of names, categories, and people that they want to invite. Hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions, of course, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks so much, guys. Happy BNI.